Hello. Welcome everybody to the digital download today. Today we are going to talk about cloud ecosystems, their impact on sales, marketing, and the channel. We have got together a panel of experts on the subject. Let's get straight into the discussion. Tim, Mags, or Omags, what's your view?
Thank you, Adam. In a world of hyper-resilient ecosystems, I think we have moved from cloud to fog. Who cares where your data center is? For me, it's all about APIs and Chemless.
Interesting point of view. What I'm hearing is that the focus for corporate data center is missed. The corporate data center is missed. Eric, you work in supply chain. Do you see lead times impacted by macro, micro economics of Chino-Asian channel factors?
I can't see the notes. Yes, that's correct, Andy. Thanks for asking that excellent and valuable question. What we are seeing is a shift from AWS to IoT. COVID has impacted the RFID and mobile so much that there's a big push-pull between mental health, I think that should be mental, and Generation X, meaning that SOCs are now going to go lower, whilst at the same time the price of gas will rise. Sorry, stocks. Stocks are going to go lower. Well, it says SOCs on the notes. What we're seeing is a correction of the margin mix, and this is impacting on EBITDA.
Interesting times. So, Lenwood, leadership in a mist-centric world, what's your view?
That's a very interesting question. We have to no longer, I think we have to be no longer paper-centric. Gone are the days when we could use the office as a timepiece. Leaders must reduce the number of chairs and increase the number of desks. We live in a hybrid world, and building services need a seat at the table.
Rob, MQLs or BGs? What's your view on verified platforms, hypergrowth, or LinkedIn Live?
Oh, that's me. I think that open source will be the community building going forward. We have to be master of our own destiny and looking to wrap up business planning and marketing testing. We cannot keep looking at the past for what's this word? Helix.
Yep.
Fascinating insight. Thank you. Eric, back to you. Where do creatives sit on this?
That's right, Steve. Those were great slides. Thank you. The latest research shows that 55% of people say that podcasts will become Easter, and 45% of people also surveyed said that content is a big factor in their purchase of eggs. But offshore is critical if we're going to run it up the flagpole. And really
Thanks. I'm hearing that MFA and SQLs are a priority in the business planning process. Lenwood, thought leadership or sustainability. Do you see a revolution or evolution?
I need an updated version. I think the social landscape has impacted on pajamas, and we feel safe, but most of all, we need to lay eggs.
Obviously, everybody, we are joking when we do this. It's really funny because, incidentally, welcome to the digital download, everybody.
Welcome, everybody.
It's our bit of fun on a Friday.
We're going to rip the scripts up.
Yeah, we're going to rip the scripts up. Turns out the scripts don't work too good.
Thank you, Steve. Those slides were excellent.
Thanks, Adam.
Yeah. It's funny, isn't it? Because all of us, we have regular team meetings during the course of the week when we discuss what's kind of going on in the world, and we are seeing more and more lives happening, which is great, but they're not lives. Surely the whole point of a live is that at the top level you are able to engage, you're able to do that conference thing. You're able to have a discussion and a debate with people. It should be unscripted, unrehearsed. You might have a running order, but it should be fun. It should be dynamic. It should be exciting. All of those things. Isn't that the case? So what constitutes a good live, do we think? And do you need to do a live? Tim, what do you reckon?
Sorry, I thought that's not in the script, is it? We've all been doing, Eric and myself and the whole team. We've all now been doing lives for 12 months, and I think everyone will agree that there's something very exhilarating about doing live transmitting. And actually, I'm standing up. I'm thinking on my feet. But the way that we've been able to build community through it, there's nothing like it. To be able to get on and and see the number of comments and the people interacting and the discussion that's taking place. And Alistair may actually then start discussing something with Andrew, just as much as he may be making comments on this. And the connection that you can make with the audience, there's nothing like it. We've all, none of us have been in business for a few years, and this is just so exciting and exhilarating.
So going around my screen, what do you reckon, Eric? Because I think that this week, and I wasn't going to talk about this, but I will, because I did do a post about this. This week was the first anniversary of your Thursday morning show, the Big Live Breakfast Burrito, an irreverent, entertaining, humorous, zany, funny, community building tool, not a monetizing tool, not a look at me, I'm an expert social seller tool, but absolutely a place where people can come together and let their hair down, ironically looking around this particular screen, let their hair down, have a bit of fun and have a laugh to release the pressure that we're all under. So you've built an incredible community with that. So what makes that and the live format so effective for you and the people that are part of that community?
Well, thank you, Steve. Those slides were excellent. Never heard of it, Adam. So first off, the question was, should you do a live? So that way back in time, the idea of broadcasting and the idea of putting on a live show, was unattainable for average Joe and Joanne, right? The whole concept of going live every day, every week. So right now we could do 2 lives a day for the rest of our lives. We could do 2 TV shows for the rest of our lives. And the ability to do that just by clicking a button and going live is a moon landing, right? It's amazing that we're able to do this. First off, it's amazing.
Wait, are you saying the moon landing was scripted?
That's a different show. That's a different show. We've only got an hour. But the fact that anybody can click a couple of buttons and end up, hi, we're broadcasting live to an entire multiple networks on multiple channels is phenomenal, right? End of, period. Phenomenal. So like with any social media device or motif or method or tactic, we know, because of where we work and what we do for a living, that the worst thing that you can possibly do is say, right, okay, here's another thing. What we need to do is take the old thing and just jam it onto the new thing. So as we've known for years, we've been talking about it for years, if you take social media channels and you jam your brochureware up onto those channels, it's going to be an abject failure. So if you take the ability to go live and turn it into a brochure festival, it's going to be an abject failure, right? Because people can we watched a live the other day from an enormously powerful company with this high dollar production, multiple cameras around this live event, and people were dropping into the comments saying, this is awful.
Because it was like, respond to that. I hope they, really meditate on the what the people who were watching were saying, because that's the critical part. Sorry.
Yep. No, it's absolutely right. It's the critical part. Is if you ignore that at your peril. Your audience are saying, It'd be so nicer if people were actually just talking instead of going, thank you, that was interesting. Industry 5.0 is a major step forward for this company, and we are global leaders in solution provision. And it was just awful, right?
And it's about real people, right? Because the person who was moderating that was obviously some kind of I mean, he might have been an employee, but he was hired for that purpose.
Of course he was, yeah.
To be super smooth.
The best teeth in the city.
I wouldn't want to have to go up against that guy
in the
like
city.
competing in a bar or club type situation.
No, the best looking human they could find with the best suit and the best teeth and the best voice. None of us are going to make it. So on that principle, like with anything, the most successful, look upon this as a content medium, the most successful content that we talk about and that we know of and we have evidence is genuine, authentic, real people saying real things, making mistakes, not reading off scripts, the cat walking in front of the screen, that just I think being themselves is not the right way to put it, but it's being natural, being calm, being conversational, and just being authentic.
But Eric, it's really technical, isn't it? Setting up your home studio and preparing it to stream is really difficult stuff because you need to have all of these tools, cameras, lights, all of that stuff in order to be able to go live, don't you?
Yeah.
I'd love to agree with you, but you can broadcast live to multiple social media channels on a shoestring.
So go on, just explain for the viewers if they haven't actually done a live themselves. Explain exactly how simple it is. What do they need to do?
So you need to come onto and register with a platform such as Restream, and there are others available. We like Restream. We like its functionality. It's a nice place. So you register. It then says, "Do you have any social media channels?" on a little button, and you go, "Yes." Okay, put in your email addresses and passwords for those, and it goes, "Would you like us to link with them?" And you say yes. So we're now in minute 2 of the setup. And it goes, "We've now connected with your LinkedIn. We've now connected with your YouTube, your Twitch platform, your Twitter platform, your Periscope back in the day, your Instagram, your whatever. Soon to be TikTok, I hear, on Restream." And it says, "We've now hooked up. Do you want to go live?" Yes, you can go live now. And you can select which channel you want to be on. And you can hit go live and you can invite on your buddies. And you can go live probably, I would say, within half an hour. You can go live. With a computer, with a webcam and a microphone. You don't even. I've upgraded my mic. I bought one of these because I just thought it would be fancy to do it. But yeah, you've got one of them. I bought an extra camera to get.
$100. Was it $150 or something for the?
You can get a setup. You can actually get a package which will include a light, a mic, everything you need to hook up. If you didn't want to, buy it in pieces for something like $100. On Amazon, assuming you don't have an aversion to shopping on Amazon.
So Rob looks as if he's sitting.
I'm going to call a
webcam. Call a timeout.
I am, because you guys are overcomplicating it. I am using the webcam that came with my computer. Yep. I'm using this headset for no particular reason other than talk about authenticity. I have my kids in the room next to me, and I'd rather not hear them. But I could do it with the computer's microphone. And if you had a YouTube channel, which is free and simple, you could live stream just from that. Or you could live stream just from your LinkedIn profile or wherever your audience happens to be. Don't even put a barrier to entry such as you should go to Restream.
Right.
You should. But for anyone out there that hasn't done it yet, let's make it really simple. Get the bleep on screen and then worry about where else can I.
Oh my goodness, Rob.
Have you just authentically dismissed everything we've just said for the last minute on a live stream?
Disintermediated.
Let me just say, refer back to your script, please, Rob.
Yes.
Because that wasn't on your script.
Yeah. That's great, Steve.
Helix.
Guys, you guys have mentioned some great points, which I would like to really, really highlight here, because they're so important. The number one thing that I would like to just highlight is get started. Just do it and experiment. I posted yesterday an article about Kim Kardashian, who admittedly already had some assets that she could use to increase her audience. However, what she said about her start on social media was this: I didn't really know what it was about, but someone told me to get on and I got on. And then I started to learn, oh, this is how it works. Then I started to adjust the things that I was doing so I could get feedback on the products and services that I wanted to sell. And she's a billionaire now. She took the experience that she had on the first social media platform that she was on, which doesn't even exist anymore, by the way, MySpace.
MySpace, yeah.
She started on MySpace. Someone said, hey, you should try Twitter. And that someone was Ryan Seacrest. You should try Twitter and Instagram. And she didn't know what it was about. She got started, learned over time, and now you know what she's done with it. They actually left television network because they no longer needed the means of distribution, which is my second point. This technology,
you know, we have UK fans.
this technology that we're using, it takes the middleman out. This is why record companies were so upset when streaming came along and the Apple platform came along, because now they didn't have to produce these huge, you got to be able to sell 10 million records for this to be a money-making thing for us. It doesn't work like that anymore in the music industry. If you can get together 100 people and grow that to 10,000 people, then 100,000 people, you can make a huge amount of money in the music business today. You don't need a record label. You don't need Sony. It's really, really important that this is now available to everyone. Let's just take now the example of video. Used to be you had to sell a show to a channel like NBC, ABC, I don't know who is in the UK, BBC, whoever, to get on in front of an audience.
Len would said maximum 2 cups of coffee before you come on the show.
I'm just saying, it's so clear to me. I know it's not necessarily clear to everyone else, but that's why I'm making the point. It's like, you don't need that anymore to build an audience and sell your products and services. It's now available to everyone. The next type of entity that is going to get disintermediated, especially if they don't change, is the enterprise.
Ooh.
Helix.
Okay.
Thanks,
Steve. Thanks for those.
I heard him say billion, and I went off in a different direction.
But listen.
Yeah.
Going back to the root question, which I think Adam asked about a year ago. Andy asked about a year ago.
Sorry.
So what's the first thing you need? The first thing you need is an understanding that live is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
That's the first thing you need. You need to know live is a beautiful thing.
You just need to show up.
But no, and I think it's not. So I challenge that. I don't think it's about showing up could get you into all sorts of problems, right? You need to understand number one.
Yeah, fair.
You understand number one that this is a fantastic medium for content, and it's only going to get bigger. These Rob mentioned the easy ways to do it that are more complex, and they're going to get more developed and more interesting, and there's going to be fancier things. But the fact is, realizing right now that live is huge, live is big, and live gives you that depth of connection that Tim's spoken about. That realization is number one. And then it's so what am I going to do? What am I going to do that's not just a bunch of talking heads going, so energy transition, it's really important that we get a handle on it, because there are millions of those, just two people talking just about
I do one.
No, it's not, but you're not just hammering this. You give us a depth of different types of guests, and it's all about the guest and all of that. But instead of just the deathly boring talking heads things on a particular industry thing, what have you got to say? What have you got to say that could add value? Who could you bring with you? And what story could you tell? And what message could you put out there? And how I think an important thing is anybody could go and do a live. Doing 52 of them in a year is a different proposition.
Yeah. Which is it's another incredible point, Eric. You're making a whole bunch of them today, which is that it's the creator that is the one who is adding the most value and will continue to add value. So if you want to start to put yourself in a position to command a higher income over the coming months and years, be a creator. Get creative. That is that's the new world, folks. And very soon, organizations are going to be, if they're not already, they're going to be looking for people who are professional and creative.
So one of the things that Lenwood suggests that people do when they build offices now is actually to have studios.
Oh man, yeah.
In the office. Sorry, Andy.
I was just going to say that I do agree with what you say, Lenwood, but the problem with using words like be creative is that it's like people, doing a video, writing content. People say, I can't be creative. I'm not a creative. And I think that the first step for people surely is to acknowledge that they are the most attractive thing that they have to offer. Yes. So you come onto one of these and you be yourselves.
Yeah. And it's okay to make mistakes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because nobody's infallible. And if you stand up here and you say, actually, I've completely forgotten what I was going to say, it's okay, because everybody that has addressed an audience, be a virtual audience or a face-to-face audience, has gone through that from time to time. So you go out and you be yourself, and you recognize that whether you've been in business for 1 year or 50 years, you will have insights that many other people don't have, and you can share those insights. And whether those insights are, my 50 years of experience have shown me this, or whether those insights are, I'm currently at this crossroads in my life, and I've learned in the last week that this is something that I need to do. There's somebody out there that needs and wants to hear that. And what people need to do is feel empowered to go out there and say, I'm going to talk to the world through these channels. And the reality is that the first live you do, there ain't nobody listening. It's all right.
That's okay.
That's your first post on LinkedIn too, by the way.
Yeah, to be a Kim Kardashian and to have 50 million followers, that comes through years and years of relentless
of marrying the right people.
Yeah,
and making the moves, but getting started. She actually, I wrote an article about this a couple of years ago. She actually started working for Paris Hilton. So she learned what Paris, from watching what Paris was doing on The Simple Life. And then she took it to a whole nother level. But you made a great point, Adam. And this is something that my mentor, Rajesh Sethi, talks about. It's called practicing in public. That's what we've been doing for the last year. We're better at it today than we were when we started. I've moved to a new platform because I want to get better at being myself, to your point, in public, which is something that we're not used to do. So practicing in public is actually a really important part of this transformation of becoming creative, which would be a better way.
Transformation of self. And actually,
transformation of self. That's what happens
is you go out there, you practice, it goes a bit wrong, and then at the end of it, you realize, I'm not dead. It's all right.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I'm not dead. It's gone a bit wrong.
That's what the world never spun off its axis.
Yeah, exactly. So it's all right. No harm has been done. I'll do it again.
Here's a good one. Here's a good one for you. And this is very relevant. Who is the most well-known over social database CRM software company CEO?
Mark Benioff, I would suggest.
I don't. Okay. So he's definitely got the chops in terms of the size of company and all of that. But there we have a CEO, Alistair, the CEO of a CRM style data software company, big data company.
Alistair Dickinson you're talking about.
Alistair, yeah, he's in the audience right now. He's the CEO of a software company, and he's got TikTok videos, he's got LinkedIn videos, he's got a massive YouTube channel, he runs a podcast, he does lives, he does all of this stuff. And that's part of his daily routine as a CEO. Mark Cowison is the CEO of an industrial safety equipment company. So I put it to you, Mark, and this isn't a challenge to you, Mark. Who runs the best LinkedIn Live or podcast series for industrial safety equipment in your sector? The fact is, it could be you. The LHR Marine live show on I was going to say on Stiffies and things like that, and all of that, and all of your suppliers and some of your clients and some of your So the whole thinking about well, why would the CEO of an industrial safety equipment company for the marine and drilling sector, why on earth would they have a LinkedIn Live? Because they should. Yeah. Because it would be great.
Yeah.
And there's an audience for it.
Yeah.
Well, that's just it, Linwood. You've got to keep the audience in mind. The question was, what should you talk about? I think the question's actually two-pronged. What should you talk about, and why should anyone care? So I can come up here and basically read our brochure and nobody's going to care. And I think it was that lack of authenticity that really sparked this whole conversation earlier in the week. I don't have to necessarily share the most critical insights of an industry, but I want to spark a conversation with others in the industry around things that a lot of people are caring about, and that's what drives the audience. At least that's been my experience.
Absolutely. The best part about becoming creative and where I see this going is that I hope that people see this as a doorway to living life more fully. Because it's through that living of life that you will get the content that you need to stream and to have conversations. It's having experiences. Be less zombie, okay? Enjoy life, develop your expertise, and share it with the world. That's what I hope and pray happens to people, that they come to life. Because they find that people will accept you as you are.
I've got just really quickly. Nick Rayburn runs a weekly audio LinkedIn audio, and I help him on that, and I join in, and we meet some absolutely wonderful people. On our last show last week on Tuesday, it's only 30 minutes. It's just a LinkedIn audio. This lovely lady came and joined the screen. She's from Birmingham. Her name's Adefunke Larigo. She came on, she said, for about a year, I've been thinking about starting a podcast. And I said, what do you do, Adefunke? And she said, I help adoption and fostering agencies to recruit high caliber individuals for their panels. I'm a change agent for adoption and fostering agencies. And I'd love to run a podcast about adoption and fostering, particularly in ethnic communities. And I'm like, oh man, why have you been waiting for a year? Yeah, that is gold. So she's like, yeah, but the whole idea of doing podcasts is complicated, and where do you start? And I'm like, so I've set up a meeting with her, because I said on that, just do a live, just do it in a live. Have you got a friend that you do this with? She said, I've got a couple. She said, I said, are they quite talkative like you? She said, yeah, absolutely. Do you have a script that you could put down? She said, yeah, it would be a bit rough, but we could talk about adoption and fostering in minority communities and stuff like that. I was like, so I've got a meeting with her next week before I go on holiday to show her how it works. And she's going to start her new, it's not going to be a podcast, it's going to be a regular live. Because she didn't know, she didn't understand. And we're going to get another really excellent, valuable LinkedIn Live. It's going to be on our YouTube channel as well. We're going to get that coming. She simply didn't understand and overthought it.
Yeah. Anyway, so obviously you can sense my passion for this and my hope that that what all of this technology is doing is actually creating more value in our humanity, that people see it as being more important than they have. We're not valuing life quite as much.
Part of it is technology. Part of it is the technology providing that. And part of it is the process that we go through in order to create for the technology.
Yeah, you need both of them.
So Tim and I were running a workshop a couple of weeks ago, and in the chat at the end of the workshop, one of the people on the call said, I found the process of introspection for writing my about section incredibly valuable, not just for me to think about who I am and articulate who I am, but to think about who I want to be.
Ooh.
And I thought that was incredibly insightful and profound a thing for somebody to say. But it absolutely is about, you go out into this space, a space where, the concept of the global village, you go out into the space with your unique view of the world, and there's somebody out there that says, that is a view of the world that I absolutely subscribe to. You are my soulmate. And the nice thing about this is that every one of these platforms has hundreds of millions of people. So you're not selling this concept of yourself and what you stand for to 10 or 20. You're selling it to potentially millions of people. And it enables you to find those people that absolutely resonate with your message. And that's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's unbelievably beautiful. One of the things that I have discovered through the process actually of doing the LinkedIn is that I've got a really nice following in India. And so I was like, whoa, that was like a big, because I have a love for cultures, different cultures, and learning about different people. I absolutely love it. Just finding out about new people. And so I found out I have this following in India, and now I'm pursuing that more fully with this social media app, which is a global app, of course, but they've started in India, so mostly Indian people on there. And it's absolutely great. It's amazing that from New Jersey, I have this following.
Are you gonna introduce yourself in future? Like, hi, I'm Len Woodross. I'm very big in Kerala. Very big in Bangladesh. Yeah, in fact,
I'm huge in Bangladesh.
I'm huge in Bangladesh. Yeah, exactly.
Mr. DJ, please cue big in Japan.
Not so much in New Jersey, but I'm huge in Kerala.
I'm big in Shimla.
My invitation to Bollywood. Okay, that's where I'm going with this. No, but seriously, it's really, really exciting. You never know where you're going to find those kindred hearts that are ready to hear your message.
Mm. But we've got that lovely cartoon that we use from time to time, which I think might have been Tim that found it originally, and it had on one side it's had two rabbits that were tending their garden, and on one side a rabbit says, well, I'm just going to set up the irrigation, and I'm just going to put up the cloching, and I'm just going to put in the canes to grow the things on it, and on the other side the rabbit is out sowing the seeds and watering them. And it gets to the end, and the rabbit that's done all the prep work is thinking to itself, right, I'm ready to go now. And he looks across at the other garden. The garden's full of flowers and plants. And it's like, how did you do that? And the other one said, I just started. And it's absolutely about that learning on the fly. I think that so often business teaches us to go down the wormhole of best practice. And best practice is, in fact, just copying other people that have been there before you. And we're in such a dynamic space here that there is no such thing as best practices. Best practice is what works for you, for your audience today. And there needs to be a recognition that best practice, in quotes, might be a different thing tomorrow, and will certainly be a different thing for you than it is for me, because your audience is unique to you and mine is unique to me. And
dear John, dear Joanne, I tuned into your so-called LinkedIn Live last week and was appalled at the nature of your lovely hour-long conversation on that specific topic. I've got together with 1,000 of your followers and we're disconnecting from you forthwith. Is a note that no one's ever getting.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Andy, Adam, nobody wants to make a mistake, and certainly not in public.
Well, get over yourself. We all make mistakes.
Actually, I don't think that, I agree with what you're saying. I agree with what you're saying, Rob, but the thing about it is it's not something that people just decided. We have been trained basically from primary school until, and if you go through legal training, boy, You're in for a rude awakening. But we've been trained that, you know, perfect is what you need. You have to get
conditioned.
You have to, you know what I mean? So that is something that you have to kind of you must unlearn that.
Oh,
as
absolutely
you're making
agree.
this transition.
So we have these.
I was just going to say, I think I've shared with you before the story of me walking into 10th grade geometry class as the teacher on day one and telling all of my students, I want you to fail. Because I wanted to encourage them to try things and make mistakes and let them know that this was a safe zone.
I had a teacher just like that in history when I was about 11, 12, and they achieved their objective.
Everyone failed.
Yeah.
But we've also got another phenomenon. We've got the very natural. I would say this is a very natural show because we have an idea for a theme and we turn up, and the person that's editing that week doesn't really know what's going to happen. It just sort of happens on the screen, right? So there's beauty in that. It's a loose concept with a loose flow. They don't get our generation. Yeah, absolutely. A ruler in the hand, or worse.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. We've got that kind of loose flow here, which is lovely to see. And also, I think as a viewer of LinkedIn Lives, I like when, like, if Linwood says, "Well, hold on a second, let me think about that," and we go off for another 10 minutes on another beautiful, and all these flowers start to blossom, and But so we've got that, and then we've got the heavily scripted. But there's also a new phenomenon coming out: the fake authentic live. The fake authentic, and I saw one of those last week.
Oh, yeah, we saw one, yeah.
Yeah, the fake authentic live. So this is
authentic, yeah.
This is where they write the script. It's absolutely checked by legal and by marketing and all of that. And then they create something which is supposed to look free and free form. But it's complete. So it's a new phenomenon. We're getting multiple phenomena, heavily scripted, where you can actually see the eyes scanning the text and the auto cue like we saw last week. The sort of free-form, loose version, I would say that the Big Live Breakfast Burrito is probably one of the best examples of free-form and just see what happens with a loose script. This is the same. And then that bit in the middle, which is, well, we need a script. We need legal to say it. But also this sort of authentic style thing goes down well. Why don't we try and make it conversational?
Yeah, man.
Well, that's quite true, Eric. Our research shows that 55% of our listeners actually prefer that type of show.
Tim, that's such a nice thing to say, and I really like your T-shirt. So back to this.
Thank you so much. It's so summery here in London.
So back to this study that I've just dropped. It just fell in my lap just now.
It's the brochure.
It's the brochure. Yeah, exactly. So we've got this sort of like fake Zoo TV thing, and you can sniff them out a mile away.
I got to tell you, I'm really enjoying this conversation because we're experiencing it, going through this. So over the last, I think it was either this week or last week, I actually met with one of the top minds in artificial intelligence.
What?
And he showed me some things.
Was it a person or was it an AI?
It was a person. It was a person, and he showed me what the AI could do, and I'll tell you, I was really stunned. Now, what I noticed, however, and he showed me applications that he's using it for, and but what I noticed from the use of the AI is it gets you to a certain result, but you don't get market resonance, which means that you do not get community by using artificial intelligence. And I say this as it is a word of caution, not just for the user, because you're going to shortchange yourself and the development that Adam was talking about, the coming alive that you need to have happen as you go through this process. But I'm also saying this to the investor. I'm going to be going out and making investor pitches in the not too distant future. And I'm going to show them the difference between market resonance from human interaction and market resonance from artificial intelligence, which is zero. Okay. So you can decide where you want to put your time, effort, and money. My recommendation is that you invest in humanity, that you invest in helping humanity to do these things. So one of the things that Greg Sattel talks about is how we will interact with technology going forward. And what he said is that the totally human way of doing things, it's not tenable. Okay. The totally artificial way of doing things, not tenable. What we need is technology that helps us be better humans, helps us to do things that we want to do, but makes it easier. Okay, and the people who are going to succeed and win are the people who are able to work well with technology so that it amplifies them, not some artificial thing.
Bring your mic back before you push it even further
sorry.
away.
I just wanted to get out of my way. I'm on a roll. But anyway, so that's
see, when you start doing these investor pitches, take this amount of caffeine before you go in, because everyone will buy it.
I'm just super amped up because, you know, when I saw that, I mean, I'm talking to one of the top artificial intelligence people. He's showing me. First thing he does is show me how that he's the top one of the top. See, here I am on the UN panel. Here I am doing this. Here I am doing that. And you don't get to do those things unless you know what you're talking about. That was the first thing. So I was, immediately I'm feeling smaller, in my chair. And then he starts to show me what the artificial intelligence could do. And literally, I had no words. Think about that. I had no words as I'm watching.
Tim, can we get him on next week?
As I'm looking at the artificial intelligence. No, actually, I'm hoping he's not watching now.
I think I've got Pete Cam.
because I'm not disparaging him in any way, shape, or form. We just have a different view about about how to succeed and stay relevant, so that you're around in 10 years, so that you're employable in 10 years, so that your company exists in 10 years. And I fundamentally believe that using artificial intelligence to replace, not augment, replace the human interaction is a terrible mistake.
Of course it is. It's like saying, I'm going to replace your wife, your soulmate, with an AI. It'll know everything your wife knows and more, and it'll be fine.
And she'll conform to your every want and desire.
But even putting that aside, just the idea that because it has the knowledge, it will provide that human interaction is ridiculous. So Eric did his Big Live Breakfast Burrito show, and there were 390 comments on that show, an hours long show, 390 comments on it. But I reckon, and I think this is a reasonable thing to say, that anybody who viewed the show, if you picked up the phone and phoned them and said, "Hi, it's Eric here from the Big Live," I bet every single one of them would take your call. And the reason they take your call is because you're not pitching anything. You're simply creating an environment where people feel comfortable and get to know you. And that's the key thing. Any salesperson, they go to a meeting and the first thing they do is they talk about fishing and holidays and cars and artwork and where you had lunch and what the weather's like and whatever, to build rapport. And it's only when they've built that rapport can they even entertain the idea of having a conversation about what it is they do or what somebody's challenges are. So these platforms are perfect for building that rapport. Does it mean everyone's going to like you? No. But there's 800 million people on LinkedIn. You don't want 800 million phone calls today. What you want is phone calls from people that love the idea of working with you.
Every week.
Yeah. And that's what this provides.
Yeah, that's it's rapport at scale. when people get to know you in their own time, in their own way, as you're doing these live streams, as you're producing content that is authentic to you, it actually accelerates the trust building process. And so when you get in that meeting, which has to be really productive because everyone's time is taxed, you can really be focused on what you need to do there. You don't have to spend 10 minutes at the beginning of the meeting, which research shows actually will lead to a less productive meeting, building rapport. You don't have to do that because
it also does the opposite, Lenwood. It allows me to also, so I watch Lenwood's show, and I've watched it now for 6 months, and I know this guy's a smart guy, and I like his personality. Equally, there'll be people who watch this and go, nah, this guy's not for me. So we qualify in and we qualify out quickly. Great. Because we don't have to waste time with those people.
And that's the efficiency of it. The fact that you're able to qualify people out.
Yes, out quickly.
Well,
yeah. I don't like this thing. I don't like this thing. I don't like this person's view on life or whatever. I'll just move on. I'll put my money somewhere else. That's great. We don't have to waste time sort of flirting with each other and
takes care of the like in no like and trust, right? It takes care of the like.
Totally.
It was Thomas Power that I remember saying to Adam and I can't remember, it was a good like 7 years ago, that community comes before commerce. And even today, that phrase really resonates with me. That if you set this up to make money, you probably won't make money. If you set this up to make community, then that's what you need to do. And it's the community thing which is so important.
Wow. I think, Eric, you used the term about the burrito. You said, I do it to funitize my audience.
Yeah, it's funitize, not monetize. Yeah, funitize, not monetize. Yeah, absolutely.
I love that.
We've been approached by a major burrito chain to say, can we sponsor you completely? But we'd need to rewrite the show. And we said no. The sponsorship money's not that valuable because that's not why we do this. We do this
to build. Want to rewrite the show?
Well, we need to make sure it's like we need to get legal to check it and get marketing, and we need a big advert in the middle, and we need our people on every week. You know,
you're going to turn your head into a burrito for part of the show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, welcome to the Tuesday. Yeah, I'm dressed as a burrito. No, thank you. That's sorry, we're not.
And I'd like to have a big shout out to our sponsors for today.
What's that? What's that you're eating, Matthew? Oh, this is an XYZ burger.
It's a Kingston's pie. I'm rebelling.
And don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. We're not talking about thousands of pounds here. This was just. But it's not about that. It's that whole thing. It's funitized, not monetized. But the fact is, it has been monetized.
Very true.
Inadvertently, get that copyright, because people have met each other and done business with each other. People have watched the show and said, hi Eric, hi Vanessa, hi Matt, hi Will, hi whatever. I watched your show. I checked your profile. I see you do this. Can we have a conversation? So that's a byproduct of what the main goal is. Yeah, absolutely.
Lenwood came up with a term on one of these, which was infotainment.
Yeah, infotainment. Yeah, absolutely.
Infotainment, yeah. I can't say that I don't know where I got. I don't know if I don't think I created that. I think I saw that somewhere.
No, Rob created that.
I remember back in the early 2000s, there was software companies hiring Imagineers.
Yeah, that's a Disney term.
It's a Disney term, Imagineers. But then it got into software and tech. You know, we need people to join our imaginary disciplines. It's like, crikey, my goodness. I still managed to get my quick.
I think it's probably best if we don't. It's an in-joke and an industry technical thing, just for those watching that are horrified at seeing that.
We just suddenly lost everyone. Yeah, we got one viewer. Mark's sitting there like, what? Job done. Absolutely. Those are real safety products. Yeah, absolutely. Without a doubt. So
that's why they're now it says TPMA.
Yeah, can we put Alexmundon's comment up there? Alexmundon is a great example from display technology. A young guy. He's now branded himself as the Babyface guru. Very technical, nosy stuff. Very much into AI. So he's asking you to check out Robora, Lenwood.
I'll check that out.
They attempted a fully AI-driven podcast. Ooh.
And you can follow Alex on the hashtag Babyface Guru.
Hashtag Babyface Guru. Check him out. He's doing some great stuff, and it's great to see a young guy really taking control of social and working it the way it should be worked. Excellent
Wait,
stuff.
Alex is Babyface Guru?
Alex is Babyface Guru.
Yeah, Alex.
He's actually 66 years old.
That is one of the funniest. That's one of the best nicknames I think I've ever heard.
Babyface Guru.
I love
It's a
that.
hashtag.
It sounds like a rap
hashtag,
name
mate.
almost.
Hey, do you know what? Do you know one of the funny stories about that is they take him along to meetings because he's deeply technical. I think he's head of technical sales. I think so. So they take him along to these.
Let us
meetings.
know, Alex, what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. And they take him along to these meetings, and this guy is like high watermark of technical display technology. So they take him along to these meetings, and he looks like a young kid, right? He looks very youthful. He's very lucky. Hopefully, it all catches up with you, and you start getting very old looking when you're in your 30s.
He's got a painting in his attic, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has Dorian Gray type thing. Yeah. So he sits there, and then all of a sudden they'll be asked this deeply technical, horrific question, and it's just basically like, "Hold my beer. Let me step forward," and then he unleashes this. So he gets this nickname, the Babyface Guru, because of all things technical. Yeah,
Love
very
it.
good.
Absolutely love that.
Yeah.
I'll put up it so people can see. Hashtag Babyface Guru on LinkedIn
And on Twitter.
and on Twitter.
Yeah,
Awesome.
very much so. Very much so.
Nice.
So what? Last 10 minutes. What is it that what makes a good live? Is
People.
it one person? Is it 10 people? Is it 100 people? What makes it? What
Not to go
constitutes
down
the
this path again, but it reminds me of that quote about pornography. I don't know how to define it, but I know it when I see it.
I thought you were going to say, I don't know how to define it, but I know I like it.
That's what I thought you were gonna say.
That's a little bit too much sharing on your LinkedIn Live, folks.
Our ops director was asked why he brought his son to the meeting. That's the best one he's ever had. Alex, brilliant.
Oh, man, too funny. Yeah.
Vanessa says the best thing
is wine.
You need wine. You need wine, absolutely. So I don't think it's about the number of people. I think you could have one person. You could have 100 people. Yeah, exactly. I'm right there with you, Andrew. I think having something good to say, maybe couching it in a slightly different way. Try, my advice, if anybody wants it, is try and do something that no one's done before. Try and do something that no one's done before. If you see a thing and you think, I'm going to do something just like that, reverse back out of that decision and say, okay, it might be on a similar theme, but I'm going to do it in a different way. Try and find an edge. Try and find an angle where people are busy looking through stuff and they go, what's that? What is that? That's cool. Or that's interesting. Or that's different. Or that's spicy. It looks like I don't know why I said spicy.
Burrito.
Is that in the script?
No, it was supposed to be spiky.
That's
We have been copied.
Yes.
many times.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that one of the key things is that if you have somebody that is senior and powerful, and then three other people that are not senior and powerful, what you end up with is a monologue and everybody nodding. And actually what you need to have some discourse. You need to have people itching to say something that is insightful. So every time I come on one of these, even though I work with you guys, every time I come on one of these, I get a gem personally from it where one of you has said something and I go, that's the best thing I've heard today. And it's absolutely triggered by the fact that, Leonard says something really smart because of what Eric said, because Eric followed on from what Tim said, because Rob started a conversation. And actually that's the beauty of this, and taking the audience on that journey and letting them see that this is a free for all so that they can put their comments. Like we've had loads of comments from people, many of which have been really insightful things that have been said, is because this is not about, Tim standing up, doing up his time, pitching to everybody. This is about having a dialogue and saying, actually, really great comment there from Andrew. Let's pop that on the screen. And then we discuss that and it takes us off in a different direction. And I think that's really powerful. And I think that's one of the key things that we need to do.
Have, Jack White, the musician, the White
I do now.
You do know. Jack White said, and I love this. He said, automation makes things too easy for us, and I want to get back to, you know, things being, life's supposed to be difficult. So he said, when I'm playing live, the White Stripes have got a really interesting motif. There's only ever 3 sounds. There's only ever Meg's drums, Jack's voice, or Jack's guitar. And if Jack's playing keyboard, then he doesn't sing. So there's only ever 3 sounds that you hear. There's the rule of 3. So if he's playing guitar and singing and there's drums, as soon as he changes to keyboard, that changes the dynamic, and he drops either voice or guitar. So, and he said, so when I'm live, I count how quickly it's going to take. It needs to take me. I need to get to my keyboard in 2 steps to get that solo in time. So I put it 3 steps away, deliberately. Put it 3 steps away. So if you're going to write a script for your people on your show, give them 20 minutes worth of material for an hour show. Absolutely. Yeah. Leave the rest just for that. Oh, there's an excellent conversation, a question from Jess. Let's pick up on that and make people work for it, because when they start to work for it, they have to push through the barriers of script and form and structure, and they have to tap into creativity and conversation and gold. And that's where it comes from.
The beauty that comes from the improvisation of, you know, this interaction, this collaboration, right? This is the thing that executives are trying to get by mandating that people come back into the office, because they think there's something magical about people being in the office, bumping into each other. But actually, what's magical is people collaborating together, being themselves. I will say also that most of the time, people don't realize that they do have something insightful to say. It's not like, you know, let me put it to you this way. I started this new thing. Oh, I guess we're almost over, or we're about to go over. I started this new thing on this Indian social media platform simply because somebody asked me a question. They said, Linwood, how is it so that you're able to so easily connect with people, right? And I said, oh, that's a good question. Hadn't really thought about it. And I mentioned in passing sort of that this idea of being a grasshopper in your own eyes. And then I started talking about how I use this concept to meet new people. I never thought that anyone would ever care about that or think it was interesting in any way. It's only because someone asked me the question in public that I started to talk about it. And the next thing I know, you know, I find out that many people had never even heard of something like that. The concept was, you know, mind blowing. So don't think I have to have something insightful to say. Simply begin talking, begin to share your experiences, because at every level, from the person who is just starting in an organization, right? There are millions of people all over the world just starting in organizations. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? Okay. There are people who are going to be thinking and feeling the same way, so that when you open your mouth and you talk about it, what you're saying resonates with them. The worst thing that you could do is get up there and try to be insightful. Get up there and try to manufacture something that is not consistent with your level or experience.
Can I just on that bombshell from Mr. Ross? Can I just quickly, because we like to help where we can. Jess has asked a question about someone who can do live drawings of what it is you're talking about. Can I just quickly share my screen? Is that okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just want to show, if you don't know this person, can you guys see that?
No. Yes.
So, Jess, check this guy out. He enables clarity through organizational consulting and visual storytelling. Tanmay Vora is absolutely incredible. He does these phenomenal little, let me see, these fantastic little, can't remember really what he calls it. There was sketch notes, and he does it live with people as well. He's very well known on here, and he does some fabulous work on these little sketch notes and does it live for companies and doing all of that. So I just wanted to share that with you. Tanmay Vora is the name of the guy, and he is he's in Gujarat in India. See, it just
India.
We're just
hashtag.
You know him then, Lemon, do you?
he knows language.
As a matter of fact, I do.
How did we manage to get an hour out of all of this? That is incredible.
Fantastic.
Connecting as we speak.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So
Beauty.
we're at the hour. Thank you all very much indeed.
Thank you.
It's been a fantastic show. It's always a fantastic show. Thank you, Tim, for doing the techie side of things. Tim for literally tearing up the script. Eric, Rob, Lenwood, and of course everybody in the audience that's contributed such fantastic stuff to the course of the show. Thank you all
Steve.
very much. It's
Thanks, Andy.
Andy.
It's
Yes.
Andy.
Thanks everyone. Bye bye.
Have a